Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to dive into something that's been stirring up some serious heat online, and that's Bungie's upcoming IP Marathon. A game that's already getting hate before it's even hit the alpha, let alone release. Now, if you're a Bungie fan or even just a gamer who keeps up with the industry, you've probably heard about Marathon. It's a reboot of their classic 1994 title, reimagined as a sci-fi extraction shooter. Sounds kind of promising, except online it's kind of catching a lot of heat. So we're gonna dive in onto why people are hating on the game that they haven't even played, and I believe there's a few reasons. One is that it's not what they expected. Um, Bungie fans wanted a new single-player Epic or Destiny 3. Instead, we got a multiplayer only extraction shooter. And on top of that, extraction shooters are already fit into a genre that is pretty saturated. Um, they essentially are trying to combine Valorant abilities, whatever, Tarkov, and then slap it into a AAA gaming studio and create their own uh, version. Which, I mean, to me, it looks fun. I wasn't so set on getting a Destiny 3. I think a Destiny 3 would be good for a franchise. I'm a Destiny player. Um, I've put over 8,000 hours into Destiny 2 and probably around 4,000 in Destiny 1. It was the first ever shooter game I played. So I am not coming from this from a perspective of this is supposed to be a Destiny 3. I know this is a new IP, and I know that um, this is something that Bungie is proud of. This is their second baby. But to the community, it seems as if Bungie is trying to throw their initial cash cow out the door and make room for Marathon, which hasn't really made a um, big impact yet on the community, because Destiny players are going into it as a, well, there's no PvE mode, there's no single player story. Like, I'm a PvP player, so I don't care that there's no PvE mode, but people need to understand that this is not a Destiny 3. This is a new IP, and or a revitalized IP, if you want to call it that, and this is what Bungie's doing. There's no PvE. There's PvE aspects. It's a PvEVP shooter, kind of like Gambit. However, it's an extraction shooter. And I think putting an extraction shooter in 2025 is something that is going to be hard for people to latch onto. Um, I'm interested to see where it goes. I'm excited for Marathon because it's new. I've never really played extraction shooters before, but I love Bungie. I love the way their gunplay feels. They pump out really good content when they care about something. So we're going to see what happens with that. Number two, I think people are still really skeptical of the live service model. For all of you that have played Destiny before, even just for a little bit, know that Bungie has had a rocky ride with Destiny's monetization. And people are afraid that Marathon will just be another cash machine filled with microtransactions, battle passes, and FOMO-driven content. And those are the things that really get the player base upset, especially when there's FOMO. The microtransactions and battle passes, fine, whatever. You don't have to buy those. But FOMO-driven content, I remember the Fellwinter's Live was locked behind a big community challenge, and then you couldn't get it after. And it was also the best shotgun in the game at the time, and people couldn't get it. So it started a big controversy, and they ended up giving everyone the Fellwinter. But FOMO-driven content is something that you shouldn't be messing around with the community. I think that there's some things that should be left up for to gatekeep, but that's another topic. And three, I think there was a massive communication blackout. Bungie's been tight-lipped. They've barely shown us any gameplay, no deep dives. They just gave us teasers. And when players don't really know what's coming, they fill in the gaps with fear. We were all expecting a huge reveal, and don't get me wrong, the reveal was cool, but to me it seemed like the devs didn't really want to talk about any of the issues that people were fearing, and all they really talked about was how much they liked the game, which is good because they're the ones making it, but then again, it's also like they didn't seem like they really liked the game they were working on. They just seemed a little bit bored. Um, but yeah, anyways, so this isn't new. We've seen this before. All the hype usually meets silence, and it's suddenly cool to be cynical. Just look at how No Man's Sky or Cyberpunk 2077 were dragged through the mud pre-release. Some of it was earned, sure. I mean, I know Cyberpunk came out. I mean, I don't even want to say half-baked because I heard it was worse than that. But a lot of it was just the internet dogpiling on the IPs. And I just feel like sometimes the internet forgets that these games that are being put into alpha and beta states aren't done yet. So that's something that needs to be talked about in the community more. But Bungie isn't new to pressure. They've created Halo. They turned Destiny into a global franchise. And if anyone can reinvent a decades-old IP and make it work in today's chaotic gaming landscape, it's probably them. What we're seeing with Marathon is that dangerous mix of high expectations, low information, and a very vocal fan base. Now, I'm not saying the Destiny fan base is going to translate over to Marathon, but I do think that a lot of the Destiny players are going to try it out. And if they're not going to try it out, I do believe some people from the extraction shooter genre are going to try it out anyways, just to see how it feels. Because, to be fair, it's not like Tarkov. I mean, it's a completely different art style. It's animated. It looks kind of cartoony. I understand. I mean, the old Valorant game director is the one working on it. So it's very vibrant. The music sounds like Valorant. It's crazy. But I do think the vocal fan base part is going to help because Bungie did say they wanted to grow this game with their community, and I do believe that if they are really thinking about doing that, the alpha and then them taking away the NDA is going to be something really, really helpful. I just hope they capitalize on that and they don't let the hate get to them and they just seriously look at the constructive criticism that people are giving them and take it to heart, because at the end of the day, if Marathon is a bust, it's going to be embarrassing, man. Like, really embarrassing. So to kind of just close this out a little bit, I just want to say at the end of the day, we all of us want good games, and it's fair to be cautious and critical of things, especially when the time and money are on the line, especially because it's going to be a $40 game. A lot of people don't want to spend that money. But maybe I feel like we should just wait until we see the game before we burn it down, because people are jumping really quick to conclusions here and simply pushing their hate onto the game because it looks bad. But it's in a alpha state. I understand it's 5 months till release and not a lot can change, but I do believe a AAA studio like Bungie is going to flip their shit around and figure out how to push this out when it's not half-baked. So I just want to ask you guys, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Is the hate around Marathon justified, or is it just another case of gamers jumping the gun? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit that like button if you want to see more breakdowns like this. And don't forget to subscribe for updates as soon as we get more Marathon news. Thanks for watching. And remember, don't hate the game until you play the game. Peace out, guys.